Inside the grand hall of the governor's palace in Nicosia, night has fallen. At least what passes for night in that cursed city. The space, vast and echoing, is illuminated only by the flickering light of countless candles, casting long shadows against the ancient stone walls. Every footstep reverberates throughout the hall, adding a rhythmic, almost hypnotic quality to the atmosphere. The air carries a chill, the kind that whispers of secrets long kept and stories best forgotten. Enter Lord Vladimir Volkov, the stern and imposing ruler of this dark domain. His presence alone commands attention, his tall frame draped in a dark, elegant cloak that brushes against the cold stone floor with each step he takes. His eyes, piercing and cold, reflect the light of the candles, giving him an almost otherworldly glow. His expression is one of authority and an unspoken threat, a demeanour befitting his vampiric nature. Trailing just a step behind is Maximus, his son. Though slightly less imposing than his father, there is no less intensity in his gaze. His stance does not disguise the potential for ruthlessness that he shares with Vladimir. Maximus wears a top hat with goggles set upon the rim and a blue tweed suit. In his left hand he carries a walking cane, and though his movements are less measured, more restless, he carries the air of someone who is waiting, perhaps not patiently, for his turn to rise. Maximus, news of great importance has reached my ears. The lost crown of the Tyrant King has been unearthed in the sands of the desert realm. The crown, father? After all these centuries? Yes. A relic of immense power and dark heritage. It now resides in the vaults of Gebelra, under the watchful eye of Governor Maximilian Delaware. And, you wish for me to retrieve it? To bring it here to Nicosia? Exactly, my son. This crown could grant us the dominion, not just over Nicosia, but over all realms. The crown must be ours. How am I to succeed in this? Delaware is no fool, and his vaults are the stuff of legends, guarded and nearly impenetrable. You are my son, Maximus. Cunning runs in your blood as much as the call of the night. I trust you will find a way. Perhaps an alliance with an insider, or using your charm on one of Delaware's confidants. An alliance. Yes. I will leave for Gebelrar at once. The crown will be ours, father. I swear it. Very well. Prepare for your journey at dawn. Remember, the fate of our line, and perhaps all of the vampires, may well depend on this crown. It will be done. The age of the vampires will rise again. The night deepens in Nicosia, casting its sombre shadows within the secluded lodgings of Maximus. Here amidst the ancient wood and stone that have stood witness to centuries of lore and conflict, the dim light of candles flickers, sending quivering illuminations across the room. Each flicker breathes life into the darkness, revealing a chamber steeped in mystery and history. The room, though sparsely furnished, is dominated by a large, sturdy desk that occupies much of the space. This desk, cluttered with maps that sprawl across its surface like tendrils of some vast uncharted world, and books whose spines are cracked with age, tells of plans both bold and secretive. The air is thick with the scent of old parchment, a fragrance that mingles with the smoky aroma rising from the burning fire in the hearth. Amid this setting of ancient intrigue, Maximus, with his bold demeanour and sharp eyes, moves with purpose. He is packing, stuffing a rugged leather bag with essentials for a journey that is as yet unclear to us. His movements are quick, deliberate, betraying an urgency that suggests more than a simple trip. His brow is furrowed, his jaw is set. There is a weight to his actions, as if the very fate of crowns and shadows hinges upon his departure. Paldrok, his loyal bodyguard, stands in the doorway, armoured and alert. His eyes reflect both curiosity and concern.
The governor didn't summon you back to simply share old tales. What's the urgency, Maximus?
The lost crown of the Tyrant King Paldrok. It's been found.
The crown? That is a powerful artifact. I assume Lord Volkov desires its retrieval.
Exactly. It's in Gebelra now, under heavy guard. We leave at dawn to retrieve it.
And the Shadow Court? Corvus is not one to overlook such a prize.
Corvus is a mercenary, and his loyalty is to gold, not crowns. We can use that. The Shadow Court could even become an ally if the price is right. Thinking about it, I want you to meet with Corvus Paldrok. Feel him out. See what it will take to secure his silence or his sword.
I'll handle it. But be wary, Maximus. The desert is full of eyes and ears.
That's why I have you, my friend. Make sure our tracks are covered. In the cloistered sanctum of Maximus's lodgings, deep in the heart of the night, time seems suspended in the quiet hours when the world outside has fallen into a deep, restful silence. Within these ancient walls, the only light emanates from a solitary candle, its flame casting an unsteady glow that dances across the room, animating the shadows into spectres that flicker across the rugged stone walls. Centred in this dimly lit chamber, Maximus sits alone at his sturdy time-worn desk. It is a massive piece carved from dark wood that has absorbed the history it has stood through. On the desk lies a thick dusty tome, its cover worn and edges frayed from centuries of seeking hands. Maximus, with a gravity that speaks of solemn rites, has just retrieved this volume from among many others that crowd the towering shelves. His hands, now still, rest on the ancient leather binding. He carefully opens the book to a chapter ominously titled The Battle of Kali and the Fall of the Tyrant King. As he begins to read, the candlelight flickers more intensely as if stirred by the stirring tales contained within the pages. The light plays across the text, illuminating words that have lain dormant, waiting to breathe their tales to those who would listen. The sands of Kali were stained with the blood of thousands. The air was thick with the cries of the fallen. I was there, sword in hand, under the Tyrant King's banner. We believed in our cores, in the supremacy of our vampire lineage. But fate was cruel that day. And with the Tyrant King's fall, so too fell our empire. Vander Mindstorm, hailed as a hero, ascended the throne built upon our defeat. His reign, though marked by peace, was short-lived, assassinated by those who could not forget their allegiance to the Tyrant King. And the cultists, they tried to bring him back. Without the crown, their efforts were in vain. Could it be that Father now seeks to finish what they started? It matters not. My task is clear. I will retrieve the crown for my father. Whatever his intentions, my loyalty is unwavering. The past may haunt us, but I am bound to the future we will forge. If the crown can restore our lost glory, then I shall seize it. Not just for the power it wields, but for the justice it will serve. In the hushed hours of pre-dawn, the sombre room of Maximus's lodgings stands shrouded in darkness, punctuated only by the dying embers in the fireplace. These faint glows cast a gentle reddish light, battling back against the encroaching shadows. The air is thick with the tension of impending departure. Each embers flicker a silent countdown to a journey's start. Maximus, arrayed in his travelling garb, moves with a quiet efficiency that speaks of long experience and the weight of the moment. His movements are methodical, each action deliberate as he secures the last of his gear. The room around him, usually alive with the flicker of candlelight and the rustle of ancient pages, now rests in expectant silence, as if holding its breath. Suddenly the silence is punctuated by a firm, resolute knock on the door. Enter Paldrok, his presence marked by the soft clinking of armour, a sound that resonates softly through the stillness. He steps into the room, fully clad in battle attire, his demeanour exuding a stoic calm that belies the readiness simmering beneath. His armour, meticulously secured, reflects not just the faint light from the fireplace, but also the resolve of a man prepared for what lies ahead.
The horses are prepared, and dawn approaches. We must depart if we are to cover good ground by nightfall.
Very well. Let's not waste any more time. Once we reach the border of the desert realm, I want you to head to Kali. Find Corvus, gauge his interest in our cause, and his price. We may need the Shadow Court more than we'd like to admit.
Understood. I'll secure whatever allegiance or services we can afford. You focus on the crown.
Take care, old friend. The desert is treacherous, and the Shadow Court is no less dangerous.
Danger is an old companion of mine, Maximus. I'll manage. You just make sure to get that crown. Once we go our separate ways at Fort Titan, we'll meet again in Gebelra, with the crown and whatever aid the Shadow Court can offer.
Agreed. Let's go, Paldrok. We have work to do. Morning breaks over the formidable structure of Fort Titan, its massive stone walls standing resilient against the backdrop of a sun-bathed horizon. The fort, a sentinel at the very edge where the lush lands of the central province meet the arid expanses of the desert realm, casts a long shadow over the land. Flags atop the battlements flutter in the fresh morning breeze, symbols of power and defiance that are visible from miles around. Maximus and Paldrok, riding side by side, approach the fortified gates. Their horses, weary yet steadfast, convey the weight of a journey traversed over great distances. Each step brings them closer to the imposing gateway, which looms ever larger as they approach. The heavy thud of their horses' hooves against the dirt road resounds with a determination as enduring as the stone walls themselves. As they reach the gates and dismount, the sound of metal and leather accompanies their movements, a tangible reminder of their readiness for whatever lies ahead. The fort itself seems to acknowledge their arrival, the morning light casting dramatic shadows that play across their faces, highlighting both their resolves and the fatigue of their travels. Captain Elias, so good of you to personally greet me upon my arrival here at your quaint little fort. Maximus, it's unexpected to see you here. To what do I owe the honour? Time has not dulled your vigilance, I see, Elias. I'm merely passing through, but I require a small favour. Assurance of my return through these gates without the usual formalities.
You know I'm under strict orders, Maximus. The new directives from Ondar City. Increased checks on all who pass. If you're found with...
Elias, let's not dance around pretenses. You owe me more than you can repay in a lifetime, and I'm not asking you to betray your post, merely to remember who helped you secure it.
What exactly are you bringing through, Maximus? If it's as valuable as I suspect...
Let's just call it a artifact of significant importance. One that will ensure our mutual interests are well preserved. Here are my papers, sealed and ready for your inspection upon my return. No need for open checks. Just a nod to your men will suffice. All right, Maximus. I'll do it. But this is the last time. Our paths must diverge after this, for both our sakes. Of course, Elias. After this, consider your debt paid in full. Head to Paldrok. I'll handle things from here. The city of Gebelra awakens to a day bustling with the energies of commerce and intrigue. Each building, each alley tells its own story, whispering secrets of past dealings and silent transactions that have shaped the city's heartbeat. Through this lively tableau strides Maximus, a figure of purpose and resolve. His heavy boots kick up the dust of the streets, marking his passage through the city like a bold statement in a book of subtle texts. With every step, the city's hum seems to rise in anticipation, the whispers of the marketplace and the calls of the vendors playing a background symphony to his determined march. Maximus's journey through Gebelra takes him to a nondescript building, its facade as unremarkable as the secrets it surely keeps. He pushes through a heavy wooden door, the sound a dull thud in the quieter shadowed spaces within. Inside, he steps into a dimly lit room, where the air hangs thick with the scent of old wood and faint traces of incense. Waiting for him is Rafiq, a man whose slight build and serene expression provide a stark contrast to the robust dynamism of Maximus. Yet this calm demeanour masks a sharp mind and a cunning that has navigated the complex social labyrinths of Gebelra. Rafiq's eyes, calm yet piercing, reflect a man who knows much more than he speaks. His presence in the room as significant as the documents and artifacts that no doubt line the hidden compartments of this very building.
Maximus, your journey has been long. I only wish I bore better news.
Out with it, Rafiq. I've no time for your riddles today.
The crown of the Tyrant King was to be displayed at Governor Maximilian's ball. Unfortunately, it never made it to the ballroom. It was stolen right from under his nose.
Stolen? I have travelled across deserts for that crown.
And your journey need not be in vain. Gebelra is full of eyes and ears. Someone knows something, and coins speak louder than threats here.
I should tear this city apart, stone by stone, until it's found.
That would be most unwise. It would attract unwanted attention. Patience, Maximus. Let's think this strategically. Use this time wisely. wait for Paldrok. Between his findings and the resources we can muster, we will locate the crown.
Fine, but we begin at once. I'm waiting for Paldrok to return with news of the Shadow Court. I'm hoping that Corvus will be in agreement to assist us. If he has agreed, we will need his services to find and retrieve the now missing crown.
Agreed. I will make discreet inquiries. Trust in the process, Maximus.
Inside the modest confines of Maximus's tavern lodgings in Gevelra, the afternoon light filters in, casting subdued tones across the room. The space, while simple, resonates with the quiet intensity of a strategic enclave. Papers litter a desk that seems too small for the magnitude of plans spread across it, and the air is filled with the rustle of those papers mixed with the low, continuous murmurs of hushed conversations. Seated at the desk is Maximus, his posture reflecting the weight of recent challenges. The lines on his face, drawn tight with frustration, map out the internal battles he has faced. His eyes, though weary, burn with resolve that has not been dampened by the setbacks of the day. Every so often his hand moves to rearrange or refer to the documents before him, each gesture deliberate, each decision bearing the potential to shift the course of events. The room's stillness is punctured by the entrance of Paldrok, whose arrival brings a new gravity to the atmosphere. His expression is grave, matching the serious tenor of the room. As he steps further inside, his armored boots make a soft, resolute sound on the wooden floor, announcing his presence as clearly as any herald.
Maximus, Corvus won't budge. His interests lie elsewhere. I couldn't sway him.
Let it be then. We have bigger worries. Any word on the crown?
It's Duchess Isabeau of Garrulus. She's believed to have the crown. It was taken during the ball, and supposedly now lies hidden within her palace.
That's all I needed, Paldrok. That's all I needed. A duchess having hold of the crown. And worse, the one duchess I could possibly not get access to directly. She's so protective of her jewels. She has the largest collection of jewelry in the entire monarchy. And not even members of the Shadow Court could ever break into her palace. We need another idea to get as close to her as possible.
I only wish I had something to offer you, Maximus. There doesn't seem to be anything that I can think of to aid in this conundrum.
Hang on a minute. What's this? Well. Have a listen to this, Paldrok. Wanted. New manager and master of ceremonies for a traveling caravan of bellydancers. Sophia, lead bellydancer and hypnotist supreme. Apparently, according to this, she's the one we need to contact about this position. Paldrok. This may just be our entryway. If we can't storm the palace,
we'll dance our way in.
You're thinking of applying for the role of manager and master of ceremonies?
Exactly. What better cover than a troupe that entertains across provinces? We'll have access to cities, palaces, even to Garrulos's palace itself, and therefore direct access to Isabeau's collection, and most likely the crown of the Tyrant King.
You as a master of ceremonies, that I have to see.
It's perfect. We'll blend in. Me as their manager and master of ceremonies, you as my bodyguard. That way we can gather information, and when the time is right, retrieve the crown from under the nose of Duchess Isabeau. It seems the caravan is waiting outside Gebelrar, so we don't have far to go. Just as long as we arrive and speak to this Sophia. Yes, I can see it working. Prepare for the road, Paldrok. We have a show to run and a crown to find. Contact this Sophia. Arrange a meeting. We need to move quickly.
At once, Maximus. It seems the stage is set for quite the performance.
As the dim light of the lantern fades behind the closing door, the shadows cast by Maximus and Paldrok stretch long and mingle with the secrets of the night. Thus begins a journey not soon to be forgotten. A quest woven with tales as intricate as the finest tapestries in the eastern markets of Gebelrar. Maximus, stepping into the role of a showman with cunning as sharp as the swords of the Ondarian army, embarks on a mission to retrieve the elusive crown of the Tyrant King. Yet, as he dons his new persona, the intrigue deepens and the path grows even more perilous. For this crown is no mere trinket, but a symbol steeped in power, drawing all manner of seekers into its orbit. The caravan that awaits Maximus is more than a band of travellers. It is a canvas upon which many stories will be painted. Among them the resident belly dancers, led by the enigmatic Sophia, whose lives dance to rhythms of their own mysteries and dreams. With every sway of their hips and every twinkle of their coins, they spin tales not just of love and art, but of secrets deeply entwined with Maximus's quest. Beyond the light of the campfires and the laughter of the caravan, the Shadow Court stirs. Their machinations are as shadowy as their name, and their tales are of betrayal and alliances that could shift the very ground upon which Maximus treads. Paldrok, the ever-steadfast guardian, knows too well that their ties to this covert assembly may prove to either be a boon or a bane. Yet the journey is not Maximus's alone to bear. The Maximites, his secret band of loyalists, weave their own threads from afar, maintaining contact in the shadows, ready to pull strings or draw blades as their leader dictates. And let us not forget the lone wolves, the independent souls whose fates, though they tread solitary paths, are inexplicably linked to the crown. These solo protagonists and antagonists chase their own visions of power, glory, or redemption, turning every stone and crossing every desert to claim their prize. As Maximus and his newfound troop ventured towards the heart of intrigue, nestled deep within the central province, under the watchful eyes of Duchess Isabeau, they must navigate a labyrinth of deceit. Each performance, each encounter a step closer to their goal, or a trap laid by those who also seek to control the destiny shaped by the crown of the Tyrant King. So, as our caravan travels beneath starlit skies towards destinies unknown, remember this. The path to power is seldom straight, and often it is the stories untold that hold the truest power. Join us as the tale of Maximus and the crown of the Tyrant King unfolds. One story, one dance, one shadow at a